Hi, welcome back to part 16 of How to Hypnotise Without Trance. This is the penultimate video in this particular program. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got a phenomenal amount out of it. We are just scratching the surface really, but I want to give you a good foundation. I hope that this is what this program has achieved. Now, just one quick point aside before we get into the topic of this. As you watch this video, be aware that if it looks like I'm hobbling about, I am, because when this video was taken I was recovering from knee surgery. I'm just mentioning that now because when I watch it I'm acutely aware of that. You probably wouldn't have even noticed, but just wanted to get it off my chest there. Okay, let's have a look at the video. Post-hypnotic suggestion without trance.
I need to talk about post-hypnotic suggestions, and that's what this video is going to be about. Specifically, post-hypnotic suggestions in the hypnosis without trance model. Before I say anything more, let me just get clear about what a post-hypnotic suggestion is, because I know not everybody watching these videos is a seasoned hypnotist. Essentially, a post-hypnotic suggestion is any suggestion given during hypnosis that is for something that's going to take place after the hypnosis is finished. So an example of this might be if you were working with a smoker in a hypnotherapy context, you may say, each and every time somebody offers you a cigarette, from now on you will just say no and feel wonderful knowing that you're a non-smoker. So that's a suggestion that's given in the hypnosis session for something that's going to happen after the hypnosis session. Now, I've had a lot of people asking me about this as it relates to hypnosis without trance, and I think this really it really shows how easy it is to get stuck in that old school trance model, because people think, well, hang on a second, there's no trance, there's no eyes closed bit going on with hypnosis without trance, so when do I give the suggestions? The answer to that is really, really simple. Whenever you like. Now, with the hypnosis without trance approach, you're just taking people directly into experiences, so you forget trance completely. But while they're in any of those experiences that you've taken them into, you can give post-hypnotic suggestions for things that are going to happen after the hypnosis session. A good example of this is Jürgen Rasmussen, the author of Provocative Hypnosis. He started utilising the hypnosis without trance hand stick as a sort of centrepiece for his smoking cessation therapy. So while the hand is stuck, he will be giving suggestions such as, and as your hand is stuck now, the suggestions I'm about to give you will stick deeply into your mind. From now on, each and every time somebody offers you a cigarette, you will just say no and feel good. As your hand is sticking to the table now, that suggestion sticks fully in your mind. So, forgive me, Jürgen, if you're watching this, because that's probably not exactly how you do it. But for everybody else, you'll get the idea. While the hand is stuck, you can give the suggestions, the post-hypnotic suggestions, for what's going to happen later on. Other people have asked me about Anthony Jacquin's Manchurian approach material and how that works with the hypnosis without trance approach. If you're not familiar with that material and you're interested in how hypnosis works in a sort of magician's mentalist kind of context, a kind of a Darren Brownie context, the Manchurian approach is well worth checking out. People have asked about some of the ideas in that. I'm not going to talk about them here because they're Anthony's ideas, they're part of Anthony's product, but where you give post-hypnotic suggestions again for things that are going to happen later on, and specifically in these instances it's very useful to have conscious amnesia. So the person, although they respond to the post-hypnotic suggestion, doesn't necessarily remember that they were given it in the first place. Let me show you how I work with this kind of thing. If you're familiar with NLP, you'll know about nested loops, the idea of beginning a story or metaphor, and before you finish it, you kind of seeg into another story that you tell, and before you finish that, you seeg into another one, and then you put the main suggestion you want to give in the middle, and then you close those stories back down in the reverse order. This is called nested loops. Now, what I often do with hypnosis without trance is I do nested realities or nested phenomena, if that makes sense. So, for example, what I might do after taking somebody through a sticking sequence is I might leave them stuck to the chair. So this is hypnotic loop. Let me make sure. So this is hypnotic loop number 1, leaving them stuck to the chair. loop 1, chair. Now I'll leave them stuck to the chair and then I'll open up another loop here, which will be a name amnesia. Now, right in the middle of the name amnesia here, because this is an amnesia, this is the phenomenon of amnesia going on. This is a great place to put a post-hypnotic suggestion that you want them to have conscious amnesia for. So right here in the middle of the name amnesia, I'm going to put the post-hypnotic suggestion, PHS, right in the middle of the name amnesia, and then I'm going to close down the name amnesia and they'll still be stuck to the chair here. So for example, they're stuck to the chair, we do the name amnesia thing, whereabouts is that name, watch it disappear, and as your name's gone now, you try and say your name and it's gone. What happens when you try and say your name and it's gone? Now while the name is gone, you can say, and it's interesting that just as your name has gone now, you will have no recollection consciously of what I'm about to tell you, but you will remember and respond at a deeply unconscious level. And then you give the post-hypnotic suggestion. Then you give the suggestion for conscious amnesia again, and then you go straight back into saying in your name, what was your name? Try and say it. Now they'll still be in the name amnesia and still struggling at this point. Then you return the name, what's your name? And they give the name, and you're still stuck to the chair. And they're back struggling, stuck to the chair. So you've gone in, chair loop, you close the chair loop then. This should, if this has been done right and this has been handled right, this should have no conscious memory attached to it if you're giving the suggestion. But it should still be there deeply embedded. If you made sure, and if you were thorough, and you paid due diligence at this point to making sure that the suggestion was given, was received, and was acknowledged. So, you know, there's all kinds of ways of doing that. Nod your head if you understand. Then you close it back down. So this is one way of giving post-hypnotic suggestions with amnesia using hypnosis without trance. But remember this, it's all suggestion, it's all language, it's all communication, it's all bringing people into these different perceptions of reality. And you can give post-hypnotic suggestions at any point during any other hypnotic phenomenon that you may be utilising at that time. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I hope I've put that clearly enough for you to be able to take the idea away. And if you're already doing hypnosis without trance stuff, play around with that a lot more if post-hypnotic suggestion is something you're interested in.